Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. Well, you may have noticed a different background if you're watching the video today. I'm at my daughter's, and in the future, I will be coming down here a fair amount to see my grandson and help my daughter and have a different background, but the content is always going to be the same. I am celebrating 8 years of my own network this week. And what a wonderful journey it's been. Now, I have been podcasting for 9 years. I was with a different network beforehand. And 8 years ago this week, I started my own. Boy, what an experience it has been. I have really interviewed some incredible people, extraordinary people, but ordinary people doing extraordinary things. The stories that they've shared, their strength, their courage, their abilities, their tenacity, their resilience, their knowingness. Oh my goodness, it has truly been enlightening. So this week, I wanted you to celebrate along with me this wonderful time of going into another year. Wow, it's really hard to believe that it's been this length of time already. When I first started this, even first started podcasting altogether, it was truly just kind of navigating blind. I didn't know what I was doing, and literally learning on the job. But that's the way I do learn. That first year, along with the other network, which was live, was a wonderful training ground. And it led me to opening up my own network. But even opening up my own network and doing it from originally PLV Radio, which was Positive Living Vibrations, it was still a navigation. You know, the way I laid out the blogs, the shows were only audio for the first 5 years. It's only in the last 3 years that I've done video as well. And everything is a learning curve. And as we go on, we learn. That's the thing about evolving, is that we learn to do something better or to do something more, to go a little deeper or to change something up. That's what life is all about. And that's what I've done to the best of my ability. But I'm a little humble network, a humble station. There's 2,700 plus shows here. At least 500 of them have been done by other hosts. I've got a whole new series of hosts coming on in the next few months. But it's also been moi with all my different genres, about 17 of them. And as I said, I've interviewed some extraordinary people across a real diverse genre. And wow, the stories that have had impact on me. I get asked all the time, what's my favorite? And there is no one favorite, but there are some that stay with you. When you see what people have gone through and you hear that really you wouldn't blame them if they'd just given up, but they didn't. They went through the process, however painful or however hard it was, to come out the other side and now to be of service to others with that wonderful wisdom, with that wonderful knowledge and abilities. Inspiration begets invitation, right? So it really has been something that has been an honor to share these stories. But as I said, I'm a humble network. I still use the same template, not because I've not tried to change it, is that every time I've hired someone to change it, it's just not been done functionally or within my light. And when you come here, you're going to know that this is Sarah's self-discovery media. It is represented by color and graphics, and it does come from the heart. And the people I interview are coming from the heart. They're colorful people. And so, yes, it's all very, very important that we have this. So, no, I'm not a fancy site, but I do my very best. I wear all the hats still. I did have help in the beginning with Bill Mackey, And for the last few years, it's been moi. And I'm not a technical person. So everything I've had to learn, I've learned to the very basic ability that I can do. And it is about bringing you really the content, because in the end, it doesn't matter what the fancy package is, but if there isn't a good enough content, it's really not worth it, is it? Uh, we're on 11 different audio platforms now, 2 different video platforms. And each show takes around 4, maybe even 5 hours to produce, along with the interview. And yes, it takes work, but I really do enjoy it. I enjoy the interview itself. That's the icing on the top. I enjoy putting the show blog together. I enjoy getting it out there. And it's about kind of setting it out there, the Orchard of Wisdom podcast. It's out there in the ether, ready for someone to click on it when they're ready for it. For me, it has been an enormous time of self-reflection, of therapy, of my own self-discovery. And when you do hear those other stories of what people have done, have achieved through thick and through thin, and no, not everybody's had that cosmic 2x4, they hacked it in the head. Not everybody has had to come back through the manure. Some people have got the signs beforehand and pivoted and gone in a different direction. And it's stepping into your meaningful purpose. It's stepping into what you were born here to do. Everything that I've done in life, and I've worked in restaurants, I've been a model, I've worked in movies, I've worked in theater, I've owned my own restaurant. I've done a lot out there, folks. I'm a spiritual counselor all my life by God's design. And whatever I've done, it's always the core of me is what I bring to the table. And that has been the core right here for everything, no matter what we've called the station, which has had 2 or 3 names. That core is a belief that we can all rise up. We can all open up our hearts. And an open heart will receive the wisdom, the universal wisdom, the source, God, universe, energy, source knowledge. But if the heart is closed down, you can't receive that knowledge. So therefore, your spirit doesn't know how to be engaged, and your mind is constantly in conflict with data, not knowing what to do with it. So I bring you everything from that core. Even the shows I do on my own, everything is push button, see what comes out. It's authentic, folks, for sure it is. I go into the knowingness, into the intuitiveness, and I love interviewing people, no matter what they're doing, business, music, mental health, wellness, veterans. It's about people who have engaged their core, who've opened up their heart, and who are now sharing that wonderful knowledge and wisdom with you. It's truly illuminating. That inspiration that begets invitation, that is a reflection on our own lives. And that invitation is like, well, if they could do it, surely I can find the strength and courage within me to do it too. We share the hows, not just the whys. We have the mentors and the practitioners, and they're the people that are sharing their services of actually how to apply that knowledge and wisdom. We're going into another book, Raising Our Gifted Children. It has been on hold due to COVID, and also due to one of our main people at the present moment whose son is missing. So we put humanity first. The book will come out. I've aligned with Shiraz Walji, and we've formed a site called the Hub of Discovery, where we've merged both of our platforms just to extend out even more. So every show that comes on with us is being shared on 3 stations: selfdiscoverymedia.com, selfdiscoverycommunity.org, and the Hub of Discovery, as well as those 11 audio and 2 video platforms. So I'm always reaching out and ways to get that knowledge out there, because that's what it's about. But I'm not a quick 5-minute, my shows can be 10, 15 minutes, but the shows when I'm doing an interview is going to be a minimum of an hour long. And sometimes we go longer because there's so much we're unraveling, and we're so deep in the conversation of truth. We can't just put an end to it. We have to wind it down. Those shows that I bring to you are tutorials in many ways. Yes, they're that inspiration. They are stories that leave you in awe, or they're simply tools and skills that can help you with the how and how to move forward. I don't believe we can say it in 2 or 3 minutes. That's an intro. I don't believe that if people haven't got the attention span, well, if you haven't got the attention span, you're not ready for the depth of knowledge. My network is there for people who are ready for that depth of knowledge, for people who really have decided to step up. They've decided to change things up in their lives. They've decided to take control of their own lives, to participate in their own lives. And they're looking for that inspiration. They're looking for that how. These shows are for those people, the people who really want to know, really want to learn, really want to be inspired, and really want to apply. Now, many of my people of my audience are regular listeners, and I bless you. I love you. Thank you so much. And they're here just for the inspiration. But we can't listen to inspiration without it rubbing off on us in some way. It always will. And when it does, it just becomes that something that is just so extraordinary. You know, it could be just one thing that's said in an entire show, and it becomes a light bulb moment. It becomes that moment of, oh wow, oh wow, I didn't know I do that too, or I feel that way too, or I didn't know I could do that. And you know, sometimes that's all you need to pivot in life is that one thing. But of course, I always recommend going back and listening to the show again, because there's other information that you weren't ready to hear at the time and you are later. I also highly approve of podcasts like book clubs, podcast clubs, where you as a group listen to a podcast and then each one of you speak afterwards as to what you got out of it. Because you, whether it's 3, 4, or 5 or more of you, each one would have got something else out of it. And when you share that, it just opens up and awakens other people. So, yes, start a podcast group. Share the knowledge, right? That's what it's about. It has, as I said, been an honor to do this, to interview such extraordinary people. Some of the people I've interviewed have passed on due to illness, due to age, due to tragedy. And I honor that memory of them coming on, because they may have gone, but they left with us some wonderful wisdom. And there are so many people that are still in their journey of life. We're actually in our journey of life right to the very end, folks. We don't stop learning. We don't stop living. We don't stop sharing. We don't stop giving, right to the very end. Because that's what it's about, being engaged with life. No matter what our difficulties are, no matter what our challenges are, it's being engaged with life. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart and soul for being with us all this time, whether you are new to Self-Discovery Media or whether you've been with us for a long time. I thank you for listening. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for commenting. I thank you for supporting us. These shows are done by donation. It is hard to make a living that way, but for me, first and foremost, it's the heart currency, getting this information out that will help other people. But of course, everything needs its support. And I do have the fund action there that you can support in. At the bottom of the first page is where you can subscribe, and you can subscribe to us. And under the funders tag, either on selfdiscoverycommunity.org or selfdiscoverymedia.com, you will see a donation button there. And whether it's $5 or more, I really do appreciate that funding. It does take money to produce this to you. And no, not all of our guests are generous. Some are, and many aren't. There's still that podcasting thing about it all should be free. But it does cost money to bring to you. I wish I could do absolutely everything free, and I am. But in order to maintain this and continue on, your donations would really, really help. So 2,700 plus shows here, folks, under the podcasts on the show page there. You will see all the different genres. You can go into each one of these genres, whichever one strikes your fancy, whichever one you can need to listen to right now, and you will find all those shows underneath there. Yes, we're on iTunes and Stitcher and Spotify, on Breaker, on Cast, something, on Anchor, on SoundCloud, on iHeart, on Mixcloud, and we're on Libra TV, and we're on YouTube. And so whichever way you wish to listen, we've got you covered. And we thank you. We thank you for listening. Please do subscribe. When you subscribe, you never miss a show, and you'll get all the newsletters that are coming out and the books, the new podcast book that is coming out soon. And you will see all of that coming out in the future. But every single week, excuse me, I'm just getting rid of an ant. I'm at my daughter's place, a new house. Some ants decided to bury themselves in the wall when they were building it. If you have a particular topic that you want us to cover, there is nothing out of bounds, except I will not support hate mongering, conspiracy theories, or any form of wild hysteria. We can address a problem, but our basis is always to find the solution, because the solution is where we need to be. And there is always a solution. And those solutions are coming from people who have taken that journey before you. Those are the people that are the fantastic teachers in our lives, the teachers that have gone through the journey themselves. So again, thank you so much for supporting us on this 8 years of my own network, 9 years of podcasting. I have been told by a psychic I'm going to be doing this into my 80s. So we've got another 20 years, folks. So stay with me. I might be blind, deaf, and dumb by then, but I'll have other people doing the shows. I really do thank you for supporting us. I'm a plodder. I'm a little humble network, but I promise you, the quality and the quantity of what I have got here on this network is so worth listening to. So, folks, have a wonderful week, and here's to the next 8 years. Bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. You will hear many shows here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. We have new shows for you out every week. Just find them on our podcast or What's New. If you feel that you have something to share that makes a difference in the lives of others, or you too feel that you could be a host, please contact me at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com, and we will be glad to speak with you. Have a wonderful day.